Are you thinking about adding a morning basket to your homeschool routine this year? Keep watching and I can show you exactly what I have in mind. This is the first video of a series I'm calling Curriculum Week. Every day this week, I'm gonna share a different aspect of our homeschooling, curriculum-wise and routine-wise. And we're gonna start with morning basket and work our way up through all of our family studies and end off with my oldest, which is in 7th grade. My kids, just for reference this year, are in 7th grade, 5th grade, 2nd grade, and preschool. I don't require my preschooler to participate, although she is with us for most of the time. I like to start our day off with Bible. We've been reading through this Bible. It's the Illustrated Children's Bible. We read the New Testament last year, and now we're starting over and reading the Old Testament together. I like it because it has really great pictures in it. Every single page is illustrated. There are some more like gruesome bits of the Bible in here. So I do recommend like pre-reading and deciding what you want to share with your kiddos. Next thing we do during our morning basket time is not in a basket. It is World Watch News. This is new for us this year. I had been hearing about it for a while and saw that they had a really great promotion. It was something like 3 or 4 months free. So we're on the free plan right now, but I fully intend on paying for the subscription once that ends. I think it's $6.99 a month. It has been well worth it. It's a really great news show that is kid friendly, but they're still teaching about world news and showing what's going on. It's only 10 minutes long, so it keeps my kids' attention. And if they do have something more sensitive in the topics for that day, they'll warn you at the beginning of the video so you can pre-watch it and then decide if you want to watch it with your kids or have a discussion first or skip it and just use your own best judgment. Next thing we're working through this year is favorite poems for the children's hour. My dad and stepmom found us this book like secondhand and gave it to us. They give us lots and lots of books, but this one has been really great. It's got a lot of classic poems in it, and it's separated by subject. So this part is the home. And then we just moved on to the country, the town. So it's just got some really great poems. So what we do is I will open up to our selected page that we're on. We just have a homemade bookmark here, and I'll read a poem and then we just pass it around, and all of my kids, excluding the preschooler, will read a poem from the book. If it's a short one, sometimes my girls want to read a few, and I let them read up to 3 poems, and then we just are done. And it's really nice because we're adding poetry to our day, and really it only takes like 5 minutes. It's so short. The next thing that we do with our morning basket every day is a read aloud. And we work through a lot of read alouds throughout the year. This year, most of our read alouds are going to be focused on our area of history we're studying, which is medieval times. So the book that we're currently reading is Tales of King Arthur. This is an Usborne book. My 7th grader is also reading Tales of Robin Hood from the same series right now. And then I also listen to the Robin Hood Yodo card with my younger kids while he's been reading Robin Hood. But I like these. They're not the most detailed. Like we also have like a big thick King Arthur book, but these are nice because they're just easy to absorb chunks. Like there's like 6 chapters. We read 3 so far. They have really colorful pictures. And the last thing that we are doing with our morning basket this year is Shakespeare. We are memorizing, we're using this book, How to Teach Your Children Shakespeare by Ken Ludwig. I listened to him speak on a podcast, Sarah Mackenzie, the Read Aloud Revival, and he talks all about teaching your kids Shakespeare, even as young as like 6 years old. And I actually listened to the podcast a couple years ago, and then I think he was back on it again because this is like the extended version. A new version of his book came out. And I was like, okay, this is the year. We're going to do it. We're going to be studying the Renaissance towards the end of the year. It's perfect timing. And so he has like instructions in here on how to teach the memorization. And his big thing is explaining all of the words. And I didn't know what all the words meant. I did a little bit of Shakespeare reading in high school, but that was it. And I just remember it was really confusing. So I love that it's like line by line, he explains this is what this means, this is what that means, so that we can understand it. And then we're just memorizing one line of Shakespeare every week. And what's been really cool is my 3-year-old is also like wanting to recite the Shakespeare. So she remembers like the first 2 lines and she wants to stand up and take a turn reciting it. So if you go to the author of that book's website, he has these free printables and you can see the lines are like broken down for the passages that you're going to memorize. And so we've memorized this whole page and then we're on to page 2. So you can print these out and they're just visually, they're easy to see. And my kids honestly only need to look at these like once a week when we learn the new line, and it's like sticking in their brains, which is so cool. And cool for me too, you know, it's cool for me to memorize it. And we haven't gotten to this yet, but we do also plan on reading the story from this complete Shakespeare book. This is an Usborne one. I purchased this one specifically because Sarah Mackenzie recommended it in her podcast. I can't speak to it yet, but because we haven't read from it, but it's got some cool pictures, which Usborne is known for. In previous years, we have also added in a PE piece, like a Go Noodle, some kind of an exercise movement video. I don't do that consistently anymore, but we do it when my kids have the wiggles. They're getting a little bit older, and so they're able to sit still for a little longer, and they're also able to tell me if they need a movement break, and say, hey, can we do a Go Noodle, or can we go jump on the trampoline? And so that's more just as needed, but that's our morning basket. I would say it takes us like 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how long our read aloud chapter or chapters are for that day, but it's pretty quick. And it's been such a great way to start our day together as a family, hit on some of those beauty subjects that maybe we wouldn't have gotten to otherwise, and just create that family unit time, especially since I have such a big age gap between my oldest, who is 12, and my youngest, who is 3. It's just time together. It's time together, and I love it and I cherish it, and I will just hold on to it for as long as I can. If you have any questions about Morning Basket or want some suggestions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. I love talking about this stuff, and definitely come back tomorrow for my next video in Curriculum Week.